Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are all very well. Obviously, hello, podium chasers as well. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. It is Sunday evening, which can mean only one thing. It is the Formula Racing League GT3 Sunday Championship. And this is round 3, and we are currently at Laguna, Seca. Let's jump on board with Renville whilst we just open the show. Quick sound check, 1 second. Got to double check that, haven't we? And that is all good. Okay, fantastic. Right, so this evening, so round 3 at Laguna Seca. We've had 2 fantastic rounds already, and I think this evening is going to be just as good, if not better. Laguna is a very challenging track. I have been sat in free practice for quite a while so far, having a look at our chargers, and Traction's currently leading the way. You'll see at the top there with a 1:24.2 in free practice. And I mean, his Lambo, I mean, she looks hooked up. But there were a couple of times, we know what the Lambo's like, where she did bite him a little bit. So I'm going to be intrigued to see how he gets on. We are expecting, I think we're expecting 14 in this evening for Tier 1. A couple of people can't join us, so GT Jamie can't be with us this evening, unfortunately. And Joseph Tro also can't be with us, which is a shame. But we'll run through everybody else in a second. So, some exciting news. I'm sure you're all really keen to know this, and the anticipation is there. Coops competition is back. Okay, that will be in full force this evening. I've got a fabulous question to ask you guys, and obviously the prize for that, as always, will be a completely free setup for any car, any track. Okay, so we'll get that question out at the start of qualifying, and then answers can come in at the end of qualifying. I think that's what we'll do for this evening. GT Jamie's in. Okay, he thinks Traction sandbagging. Yeah, well, on one of those laps, Jamie, I saw him and he was 5/10 up and then binned it. So he's got 23s in him, and I'm sure this man, Michael, who's just coming out, I'm sure he wants another lap record to his name. So we'll see what happens this evening. But again, we're going to have lots of people. Michael throws it off because he's obviously listening to me. We're going to have quite a few challenging though this evening. Will Friedman's joined us, our resident CTO of Formula Racing League. He does some fantastic work behind the scenes. So if you are new, if this is the first time, or if you've recently joined FRL and you wonder what I mean, please have a look at the website. So it's formularacingligue.co.uk. On that you will see a plethora of information with regards to all the series that we do, the drivers, the stand-ins, the teams. We've got an app which is amazing, so you can get involved and have a look at that to get access to setups. There's a lot of stuff on there, but I won't bore you with all of that just yet. We'll trickle that through as we go. Amazing, no cockpits. See you all Tuesday, doing a bit of spying after my shocker at Mazzano. Yeah, hi Mikey. Mikey Smalls in the live chat. Dave and Michael last night. Okay. Well, I think that's why GT Jamie's probably not in tonight then, if he was with Michael and Traction yesterday doing some practice. I understand, Jamie. It's fine. No bother, mate. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the standings, just so that we are all completely up to date with that. Again, if you guys want to access that, again, just go onto the formularacingligue.co.uk website. It is all on there, but 2 rounds down so far. Let's have a look at the teams, actually. Let's have a look at the team championship to start with. This one's slightly different. So out up front, we have got Kicking Asphalt, which is GT Jamie. You're letting go of the lead, mate, today, potentially. And Spacey, they're in the Ferrari. They have 238 points combined at the moment. Then we've got Phoenix Racing, which is Andy and Crazies. They're in the McLaren on 225. Training Wheels, which is Floppy Fox and Renville in the Lexus. They're on 224, so it's just a point behind. That's nice and close. And then we've got Gamer Dad and Joseph in Triple X Motorsport. I did mention previously that Joe's not with us tonight, so Gamer Dad's riding solo on that in his pink-wheeled Lexus, as always. One Fast, One Furious are in 5th place. That's Michael and Traction in the Lambo. Now, I don't know if Traction prefers the Lambo. I know Michael, well, I think he's a bit indifferent with her at the moment, but we'll see how that develops throughout the season. They're on 176 points. Then we've got Slelo, which is Lely, and I Am Slow in the Bentley, and they're only a point behind them on 175. Let's get off him. Let's have a look at I Am Slow in their Bentleys. Then we've got Vodka Motorsport, which is Fresh Brizzle and Miles. They're also in a Bentley. They're on 114 points in 7th place. And then we've got Race Trip, which is Zuchu and Marek in the Ferrari. They're 8th, currently on 90 points. And Fresh Sim Racing, which is Fresh Jinx in the McLaren, on 19 points. And Fresh Jinx actually doing it on his own at the moment. So obviously we've got quite a few people that have come in to FRL recently who are looking to pair up and get involved. Obviously the GT3 Sundays is, well, one of the core evenings of racing, I would suggest. But yeah, I'm sure we'll have a partner very soon. So that gives you the team standings at the moment. See if anyone wants to make any comments on that. Okay, ERT Milden's in. Good evening, hope you are well. Let me know how you got on at Brands, mate. I did watch for a little while, as you know. I'd be interested to know how that affected your championship. So yeah, do let me know in the live chat. So driver standings. Currently, out up front we have Lenny 9. And we know Lenny is extremely consistent in his Bentley. He's on 149 points. Crazy's is second, 144 points. Then we've got Spacey currently in third, and he's on 126. Michael Races is in 4th place. I'm sure he won't stay in 4th unless that Lambo tries to kill him over this season, on 119 points. Floppy Fox in the Lexus is on 119. And if my memory serves me correctly, Floppy Fox has just done, I think it's an SOP race with Milden, who I was just talking to there on the live chat. So either he's got his eye in or he's going to be a bit fatigued. We'll find out later on. GT Jamie's in 6th on 112 points. Then we've got Rem Villar in his Lexus on 105 in 7th. Gamer Dad's currently in 8th place. He's just getting used to that Lexus now, so I'm sure he's going to start punching in some better results on 101 points. Joe, his teammate, is 9th on 80 points, and then we've got Marek in the Ferrari. He's currently, well, that's not right in terms of points. It says he's on 90 points. Andy in the McLaren is 11th on 81, and then we've got Fresh Brizzle in his Bentley is 12th on 67 points. Traction is at 13th at the moment on 57 in his Lambo, and then we've got Miles 47 points, I Am Slow 26 points, and Fresh Jinx obviously is bringing up the rear at the moment. Now, I Am Slow, for anyone that does watch this regularly, I Am Slow is wow, he races with us from Australia and gets up at silly o'clock, which no doubt he is also doing today. He was on the FRL podcast on Wednesday, and it was brilliant. We always get people to come on there, you know, some of our drivers, just to get more insights, get to know them. You know, they sit with us for an hour and we talk about everything FRL and anything really, and it was just really good to get to understand him and his journey, and why he loves that controller so much. So don't buy him a steering wheel, okay, because he'll be too fast, and Michael definitely will be holding the big sign up for that one. Finished P2, back the series. Well done Milden, excellent. So he's in a good mood, and Floppy finished 4th. Very nice chaps, very nice indeed. So we've had a look at the driver stats, we've had a look at the team stats. We know who is present this evening and who isn't. It's going to be, I think this is going to be a very interesting race tonight. I mean, if you look at the times at the moment in free practice, Spacey's popped into the 23s, and then we've only got, well, we've got 3/4 of a second down to 7th. And I say this every Sunday in Tier 1, it's a rapid grid. All of these guys could win the race, in my opinion. They're all quick, they're all consistent. It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. So we will obviously do our normal lap guide. We'll do that in qualifying, and I tell you what, I'm gonna wait until we get to 10 watching, and then I'll put out Coops competition this week. So remember guys, normally what I do is every time we do a live stream, we'll have Coops competition. So I'll ask a topical question, usually to do, well, sometimes to do with the track that we're at, sometimes just whatever I make up in my head. and then whoever wins that competition within the rules, please people, will be lucky enough to get a completely free setup, any car, any track from me. And yeah, I mean, that seems to go down pretty well at the moment. So Fresh is in. Hello Fresh, good luck tonight, mate. Good luck tonight, buddy. Good. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get everyone in the chat to talk amongst themselves. Then I don't have to entertain them, and they can just, you know, catch up with each other. I know, why don't you all talk about a certain race that happened earlier on today? Yep. The finish to that race, I'm sure you're all aware. Maybe have a little chat about that. Which camp are we in? Did we laugh? Did we cry? I was giggling a lot, let's put it that way. So yeah, Spacey's still out up top, and then we've got Lely's just a 10th behind, so we've got just under 5 minutes left of free practice. So what are these guys doing at the moment? That's something that people probably look at, you know, if they see this and think, well, what, you know, what's the point in doing all these laps? And you know, consistency is the biggest attribute that you can have in any form of life, really, but sim racing is no different. Especially on ACC. So these chaps obviously just going around making sure they've got all the braking points correct. Actually, let's go on board with Lely, just so we get just a bit more of an understanding as he's following Michael. So, you know, he's not trying to race Michael at this stage, obviously. He's just getting his eye in, making sure his braking points are correct, his turning points are correct. He's feeling out the car. Does anything need to be changed on that setup? You know, is he getting any oversteer? Is she understeering? You know, I'd say usual stuff. That is usual to us lot, but if anyone's new, that's why they're doing this at the moment. Yes, spoiler alert. It's 15 hours after it's happened. I can't help that, you know. Ah, well, Fresh. We won't tell you what happened then. I'm just saying it's worth watching. And everyone else in the live chat, shh. And no, K-Mag didn't win the race, but he did very, very well. I've got to, Fresh was going to be driving really angry now. I was like, someone's going to say the result. Nah, it's fine. It's totally fine. So, Laguna as a track. So what do we think about Laguna? Me personally, I love Laguna. I think she's a great track. It's quite a technical track, especially on this. The one thing which I find is extremely interesting is when they actually built this track, it would appear that the chap who was tasked, or chapette that was tasked with naming the corners, as my sign there, did you see that? Cooper tyres? What tyres? I own a lot of racetracks. We've got Cooper tyres, that bridge I own, Cooper straight up brands. Yeah, I know, I'm a lucky guy. And there's my mother just going above us. Yeah, so the person who decided who was in charge of naming the corners, obviously had half day, because there's only 11 directional changes around Laguna, and only 4 of those have any form of a name attached to them. And 3 of them are taken up right here for the Rahil Straight corkscrew and Rayner's curve. So there you go, there's your lap guide. Fantastic. Fresh doesn't like the track. Well, mate, just take it easy. Take it easy. Don't go trading too much paint. If you don't get frustrated. That's all I'll say. Yeah. I mean, they're not huge races, are they? It's only half an hour, so chances are, with a track like this, there is going to be action going on. There will be spills, so you'll be able to pick something up. I'm very sure of that. Very sure of that. Yeah. So Lenny's just having a little drive round at the moment. So qualifying, what do we think? How's this looking? So Spacey's obviously. He's putting in some good times in that Ferrari at the moment. Lenny's 45 thousandths off him. So you would think, I mean, that's obviously not a lot of time to find, but in pushing to find that time, well, may send you off the track. So those two are pretty close. He's done his obligatory 20 minutes. I think he joined the server when there was 22 minutes left of free practice. And Will is famed for saying that, you know, I was going to do a French accent then, but he'll probably sue me, so I won't. He's famed for only joining and doing sort of 20 minutes worth of practice, obviously because he's doing lots of other technical work for FRL at the same time. But that's a good time from him. Floppy's in there in third, he's only a tenth off at the moment, and then we've got Traction and Michael in there. Driver killer Lambos. I Am Slow's currently 7th, he's under half a second, and then Gamer Dad's 8th, just over half a second. So now you've got the top 8 all within, wow, 6/10 of each other. Crazies won't be a second behind, no chance. So I'm expecting that time to come down as free practice is just about to finish. And then we've got Marek, Andy, Renville, Fresh and Jinx. And I was watching Jinx earlier on today, actually. I know Jinx was doing quite a lot of work well, for a long time before free practice started, because I am a bit nosy like that. And he did seem to be struggling in that McLaren, so hopefully he's managed to dial some of that out and can stick a decent time in qualifying, because, I mean, you got to look at that. That is pretty close. That is pretty close. Which is brilliant, because it means we're going to get loads of battles going on.
Green light, go, go.
Green light. And again, guys, you'll love this. Look, I can do what I want with the cameras today. Absolutely fantastic. Right, who's going to move first, boys? Nobody. Oh, we've got some action. So Andy's head of the crew, and then that's Traction. So Andy's at the head of that queue. Then we've got Traction, and then we've got Fresh Jinx. Okay, so he wants to get out and get a decent sighter in. So 15 minutes qualifying. Oh. You will, Jamie. You will, mate. Just take your time. Just concentrate. Get in the flow. So, again, for those of you that are new to watching, GT3 Sundays, the format for this evening will be a 15-minute qualifying session now, which we have just started. That will be followed by a 30-minute sprint race. There will be one mandatory stop in that where you do have to take tyres. And then from the result, the top 5 are not allowed to qualify for race 2, which is a shorter 10-minute session, and those top 5 must then reverse at the back, so whoever wins starts last, second last, etc. So it really spices up race 2. If you've never watched it before, watch it. If you have watched it before, keep watching it. That's all good. So into qualifying we are. Let's put out Coupes competition. Okay, so your competition this week, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Laguna Seca is evidently Spanish, and that means dry lagoon. So when they decided they were going to reconfigure the track, let's say, so one of the reiterations of the track, they decided to put a couple of things into the circuit. I want you to name me what those things are. Okay, so let me know by the end of qualifying what the answer to that question is. So Laguna Seca is Spanish for dry lagoon. When they reconfigured the track, look, there's my tyres in the background again. Look at that. What great advertising. 1, 2, 3. What did they put in the track when they reconfigured it? It's quite a dry track, evidently. So have a little think about that. Pop the answers in the live chat, but not before qualifying finishes, please. Okay? Whoever answers that correctly will get a completely free setup, any car, any track of the actual Coupes competition for this week. Okay? So, let's get on board with Andy. Oh, no, what have I done there? That's the wrong button. Apologies. So let's get on board with Andy as he goes through the corkscrew. Traction's in front of him. We won't worry about that for now. So, as we finish this lap, we will then do a lap guide so that you all... Swimming pools. Swimming pools? Not quite, Smalley. You're on the right lines, but I did say I don't want any answers in there until qualifying finishes, please. Okay? Because otherwise, it could be finished in 30 seconds and then it's pointless. Right, anyway, so Andy starts his flying lap, okay, on the way down to Andretti hairpin. It's quite a difficult one, this. You want to get it into first. It's a double apex, so you've just got to be patient. As soon as you see that sausage curve there for your apex point, you should be on the power. Drag it over to the left, on the brakes, down the gear, tuck it in again. You want to be clipping that curve nicely. Drag her out wide, not too far to invalidate. You can drop it a gear there. A lot of people don't, they just pause, which is totally fine. You don't want to upset the car too much. Then under the Mother's Bridge, hard on the brakes, down a couple of gears, probably should be in third there, I'd say, Andy, and then on the power, drag it wide, use the curbing as your exit point there, and then you want to just a quick blip down into third, a slight pause, and then straight on the power. So you really want to be pushing through that corner as we run up the Rahal straight towards corkscrew, hard on the brakes, down into first. You've got a trail in there, and you've probably got to balance the throttle a little bit as well, because evidently through that section, those two corners, that was nice through there, Andy. And then on the brakes, down a gear, tuck her in, get on the power early. Okay, so just tiny little bit of waiting, too much waiting going on, I think, there. And I've got engrossed in his lap rather than giving me my lap. So Andy crosses the line. What's he going to post up there? A 125.194. That is not a bad lap, Andy. It's not a bad lap at all. So traction's in the 23s already. 23 and a half. Wowza, that is a good lap. Will's in there. Will's 7.5 tenths off in that Ferrari at the moment. So traction is certainly looking racy. Let's have a look at what his teammate Michael can do. Let's get on board. Again, this is the PS4 version of the game, not the PS5 version, so I can do exactly what I want with these cameras, which is fantastic. Hopefully when the update comes out tomorrow, and he's lagging all over the place there, when the update comes out tomorrow for the PS5, that will stop all of the issues that we've been having on the other broadcasts. So fingers crossed, people. Right, as Michael comes across the line to start his flying lap, let's see what he can produce. So on the brakes, down to first, nice tight turn in there, then just be patient, then get on the power again. That is annoying me a lot. I'm not saying it, you all can see it in the background. You're going to go to bed tonight thinking about that I own that company, which I don't, obviously, disclaimer, everybody. Right, so back on board, Michael. Hopefully we fixed those internet issues that were happening. It looks a little bit better as we get on the power in the run up to the hill. Again, this is one of my favourite corners. You've got to be brave. You just got a little dab, a little blip, turn her in. Oh, okay, I thought Michael's flying. Look at this. We'll stay off that view at the moment then. Through the corkscrew. Let me change that camera angle. And then through Rainer curve. It's really important to keep tight to that curve there when we apex and exit to get a good run down here. Again, him and traction, they don't drop it down a gear there, they stay in third. Well, I think this game, it's wanting to test me at the moment in different ways. So on a Tuesday, when it's PS5, it won't let me look at the other camera angles. And this evening, PS4, I mean, look what is going on here. We've got Michael doing wheelies. I've never seen that before. So Michael goes 5th with that lap, probably because he was doing wheelies. So let's have a quick look on this. Just under 8 minutes left. So Spacey is actually now in provisional pole with a 23.1. That is rapid. Traction second, just 3 tenths off him. I mean, that's a big gap. That is a big gap. Floppy's currently in third. That's a great time from him. Will's currently in fourth, and then we're watching Michael at the moment. I think we need to have a look at Spacey, really. He's putting in a lap time like that. And he stops. Oh, man, I think he's trying to find himself a bit of space there. So he will... Spacey. No, we'll stay on with that for a minute. Right, so we've got full watching at the moment. Good evening, everybody. Hope you are well. We are in qualifying for the Formula Racing League GT3 Sunday. This is round 3 at Laguna, Seca. What better way could you spend your Sunday evening? Okay, you've had a fun-filled weekend. We're not thinking about Monday. We're going to enjoy some sim racing this evening. End the week on a high, and then you can all get up tomorrow and watch the stream and start your week on a high. That's what we're here to do for you guys. Trying to get some heat in those tyres there, so he's not just driving like he's having a fit, he's doing that for a reason. Definitely looking to get some space there. So Crazies is in front of him at the moment. See, that's smart driving. You see, you look at that and you think, well, go. No, he shouldn't be going. He needs to give himself enough space, especially as he's the pole sitter at the moment. that he can build up the speed and not have his lap interrupted. So into Andretti hairpin, hard on the brakes, down into first. Again, you can keep your eye on the throttle and brake inputs, bottom right hand corner there, so you can see what he's doing with that brake pedal. Is he trailing? Is he jabbing? We can see what's going on. So another one who just holds it in third and just lets the car pull round that corner. Second for that one, hard on the power. Yeah, well, touch wood, I mean, she's not giving him a hard time at the moment, which is good. Flip in, go. Crazies is off the track there, so he's obviously been pushing hard. So he's not going as quick as his previous lap. Blue flags are waving. Don't know why they're waving. Oh, there's a car in front. Okay. Come on, Spacey. Yeah, Spacey's doing really well, mate. Really well. I think Gamer Dad's probably having a chuckle to himself, because I came in practice earlier on today and he's backing out again to get another lap in. I went into practice earlier on just on the controller, in case anyone is wondering. Was not on my wheel setup, just to do a lap or so, you know, get used to it. And every time he came past me, I was not on the track. And look at that, Spacey, wow. Traction Dave, that is amazing. Traction Dave, his time is a 1:23.124, which, if I'm not mistaken, ladies and gents, is exactly the same time as Spacey. There is not even a millisecond, not a thousandth between them. Never seen that before. So we've got two guys on pole, and Michael, Traction's teammate in the Lambo, is only 30 thousandths off those two. I mean, I do say this is a quick tier, and it is. I mean, it's massively quick. It is full of aliens, and wow, I've never seen that before. So, Michael, you've got 30 thousandths to find, my friend. Absolutely amazing. We'll just bang out that quick question again for Coop's competition. We've got just under 4 minutes to get your answers in for that one. Again, prize is a completely free setup, any car, any track. And the question is, Laguna Seca is Spanish for dry lagoon. When they reconfigured the track, what did they put into the track? Okay, so there was something they then put in more than once into the track layout. Tell me what that is, and you will win the prize. We've got 4 minutes to get that one in. Okay, so is Michael on a fast lap? That's what I want to know as qualifying. So Michael's on his out lap at the moment, and he's dancing around again. Wow, where is Traction? He's got to be out there. He's got to be trying to get that pole position, surely. Right, so we're on board with Traction. Look at the top left. He is a tenth and a bit up at the moment. So remember, he needs 1,000th, if you like, to take that pole position. He'll be desperate for it. It's just invalidated his lap. So get your head together, Traction. Get everything back together, mate. Don't throw it off, and you've got another lap to try and make that happen, buddy. Interesting. And Spacey is in the pits, so he's either sitting there thinking, give it your best shot, or I'll share that grid slot with you. It's fantastic. How can they be no time between them? So Lenny's out there as well. I'm expecting Lenny to put in a better time, actually. Lenny is up by 4.5 tenths, so that will certainly improve his grid position. Let's see if he can. Well, he's just lost a tenth there, but come on, Lenny, you're better than 8th. You want to be up there challenging. Interesting track, though, isn't it? You know, you've got Lambos and Ferraris at the front at the moment, and you know, usually you look at it and you see Lexuses and you see Bentleys and all that. You're thinking, oh god, here we go, same thing again. But no. So Lenny's pretty much half a second up and goes 5th with that. Well done, Lenny. You've got time for another one, my friend. Spacey's not coming out. He's done. He's probably having a shower after that. But well done. That was a great effort. Traction is still out there. What's he going to do? Oh, look at the time. Look at its flickering. He is literally 1,000th up. Come on. Come on, Traction. How are you? Not that I don't want Spacey to get a pole, but this is exciting, guys. This is what we want to see. Okay, so he's still in the green. That's all he needs at the moment. You know for a fact Michael's probably going to go half a second quicker, but we'll check him out in a second. As we come up 2 corners left, he will get another lap in if he makes a mistake. Hit your braking point, get that car turned in nicely, squeeze the throttle, off we go. He's a couple of attempts up. Okay, this is a fantastic lap. Are we going to see a 22? No, we're not going to see a 22, but that's good enough. It's not good enough for provisional pole. As Michael, who stuck that on provisional pole? Well, that hasn't changed. That's very interesting. So, Michael's in the pits. Traction there, we clearly saw when he crossed the line, was probably 15 thousandths up. Which, given the fact that it's telling us there is 0 time between them, he should be on provisional pole. We shall see. So Michael's currently sat in 3rd. He's in the pit, so he's not coming out. Qualifying is about to finish, so these guys have got to get a shift on, either to complete this lap or to get started on the next one. Floppy Fox is currently in 4th place. That seems to be his favourite position at the moment. I did say earlier on this evening he took part, I think, in an SOP race, finished 4th in that one. So we're in the wait time. People can now complete their laps. What are you going to do, Traction? I'm not even going to go on it. I'm not going to go on it. We're going to wait. Going to build that drama. Lenny is currently in 5th place, 7 tenths off. So those top 3 are in an absolute league of their own at the moment, because, you know, Floppy's currently in 4th and he's 6 tenths down, and that gap is huge. So I think Jamie's totally right in what he was saying about the practice time he did yesterday. Will, that's really respectable for him, jumping in this evening to help out in 6th. I Am Slow is 7th in the Bentley. Gamer Dad is currently 8th. Traction, oh my word, look at that, people. Traction Dave, a 1:22.917, 2 tenths quicker than Spacey. What a lap. I'll give you a little round of applause there, Traction. That was a stonking lap, my friend. Lely's still out on track at the moment. Let's see if he can do anything else with that. Lely does. Lely moves up to 4th, so we've got, wow. Wowza. That's pretty impressive. So we've got Traction Dave sitting on pole position with a ridiculously quick lap. Is that a new lap record? Yeah. Okay, well done. Jamie's just said. So congratulations, new lap record. Spacey is 2nd. He can't complain about that. I mean, that lap that he did was ridiculously quick. Michael's in 3rd, 30 thousandths behind. Lenny manages to put his Bentley up into 4th, but he's 7 tenths off the pace. I've never seen a gap like that in this tier so far. Floppy's in 5th. Will Friedman is 6th, a 2nd off the pace. Then we've got I Am Slow in the Bentley. He's 1.3 off the pace. Gamer Dad is 8th, with exactly the same time as I Am Slow. So that's twice today. What? How does that happen? Right, so I Am Slow is 1.326 off the pace, as is Gamer Dad. So those two should be evenly matched, shall we say, for this race. Fresh Brizzle, self-declared, does not get on well with this track. He's currently sat in 9th in the 998 Bentley. And then Marek Mariola in his 114 Ferrari is currently 10th on the grid. Andy in the McLaren is 11th, with his teammate Crazy's next to him on the grid. So those two evidently aren't getting on well with the track in the McLarens. Renville in his Lexus is 13th, and then Fresh Jinx in his McLaren is currently 14th. So that is the order that we're going to have for this race. Now please do remember that the top 5 from this race won't get to qualify for race 2. They will, I mean, they can come out and check the tyre pressures, but they will then go to the back of the grid for the start of the second race, which there's always fireworks in race 2, because you've got people scampering around at the front fighting to try and get the, you know, bit of fame, and then you got the guys, you know, that have done the business in race 1 who are really battling to get back through the grid. So don't go anywhere, you need to watch that one. But I think this one is going to be, I haven't said it yet, it's going to be epic, and I mean epic. You can't have times that close. I'm not going to say it, but I think I'm sure Traction is very happy with himself, and he should be. That was an amazing lap. Well done, Dave. replication and consistency, my friend. I'm sure Spacey's going to have something to say about that, and I'm sure Michael's going to want to put some pressure on as well. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows? The other key one is actually Will Friedman. He normally grows into a race because, as we said before, he doesn't give himself a lot of time to practice. So as the race develops, he normally gets quicker in any car that he's sat in. So that will also be interesting to see how. Yeah, and that's only a fast track. So it's just a we're not talking opti. It's a fast track. That's absolutely crazy. Right, let's just change our view. That will do nicely, so we can see what is going on. We'll just sit there. So they've got 2.5 minutes now. They're all just going to be double checking that they've got all their fuel strats correct. They'll be looking now, what are they going to do pit stop wise? Have they got the tyre pressures set correctly? Do they need to make any tweaks for that for when they come in for their pit stops? Crossing the I's, dotting the T's. Yeah, it's a new one. I just made that up today. Yeah, so Floppy Fox is saying it's tough in the Lexus there. Yeah, she doesn't look that happy, to be honest, Michael. And Smalley says man-made lakes. Now, if we were doing a really strict game show here, yeah, that answer would be incorrect. But we're not, are we? And I want someone to win the prize. So it's not man-made lakes. What they did was they put two ponds in the circuit layout somewhere, which we never get to see unless I stay in helicam for the entire race. So I'll go with that, Smalley. Well done, mate. You are this week's Coops competition winner. So congratulations to you. And you didn't obviously use Google, which is fantastic. Traction's sitting there now listening to this, looking at his setup, thinking, I could have won that. So well done, Smalley. You send me a DM on Discord, buddy, to let me know what track, what car, and I'll ping it over to you tomorrow, mate. Alright, so congratulations to you. So if you are just joining us, we've got 7 watching. Welcome. We are just awaiting to get going for the first of our 2 races this evening, and our GT3 Sunday Formula Racing League round 3 at Laguna Seca. If you have just joined, you need to go back and watch the qualifying session. I've never seen anything like it. We had 1 and 2 were split by literally nothing. It was 0.000. Ridiculous. And then Traction popped in a new lap record on his last attempt to take pole position. And we've also got 2 bit further back. Gamer Dad, who is it? I Am Slow and Gamer Dad are also exactly the same times. They're 1.326 off the pace, both of them. So this race is going to be very interesting. So 15 seconds left to go before we get the hiya Tina, hope you're well. Yeah, Peter's doing alright actually. I'm sure he's looking forward to this one. Yep, so Tina's part of the I Am Slow fan club, if I remember correctly. Smalley's happy with that. Sweet! Yes, indeed. Indeed. So as they get underway for the formation lap, it is a full formation lap, where also they can use that time just to get some heat into the tyres, into the brakes, get rid of any nerves, think about what their plan is for attacking the first few corners, because given the pace we've seen in qualifying, this is going to be a very busy race. And busy is great, but busy can sometimes mean contact. So we'll see what happens. Just whilst we're doing that, ladies and gents, I will give a little plug out as I do every week. If you are enjoying the content so far this evening, and why wouldn't you be, it's extremely informative, funny, we've got competitions, prizes, amazing racing, what else do you want on a Sunday? Please press the like button. Okay, it will mean a lot to me. It helps other people, helps other people get to view what we're doing here and the channel. And also, I say it every week, buymeacoffee.com/comms by Coops. Can do little one-off donations in there, and I mean little, £2 one-off donations, and that obviously just helps the channel grow. We've got a little target on there for FRL, so it's all good. You don't have to, but you can if you wish. So Oh, good. We've got a couple of like brilliant. Some people are liking it. Okay, and we've got 2 more joining. Press like, please. Press like. I'll give you a password. No. Anyway, so we're coming round towards the end of the formation lap. Spacey and Traction. This is going to be fireworks. This is either going to go really well, which is great, or it's going to go really, really not well, and Traction is going to be crying. And I don't want Traction to cry, because if you've ever heard a Geordie cry, it sounds like an animal in pain. So let's hope that doesn't happen this evening. So as we come round the last corner, I'm nervous. I am nervous for this one. I've never seen anything like it in qualifying. You have to watch it back after the show. It's ridiculous. Right, anyway, so as they come up to the start and finish line, and they're off. Off we go. We're going to stay on Helicam at the moment. So Traction's gone on the inside, followed by Michael. We've got the Floppy Fox is right tucked up under the inside of Michael there, and Spacey looks like he's trying to make a move around the outside. Doesn't. Lely, as you saw, they had to get right out of the throttle because he didn't want to have any contact, which was a good move by him. And we've got the 2 Lambos now scampering away. So Spacey's lost out to Michael, and we've got contact there. That's Fresh Brizzle, and who was that he just made contact with? So there was a little bit of contact there. But we will get on board of Floppy Fox because he's trying to make a move. He's got Spacey on the left hand side there, as you can see. So remember, he's literally just sent me a message in the live chat saying the Lexus doesn't like it round here, but I mean, she's doing alright at the moment, so he's managed to clear Spacey. I think Spacey needs just to get his head back into things, cool it down a bit. He's lost a couple of places, and try and start reeling in those Lambos, because we know he's got the pace, but he does look like he's already under quite a bit of pressure from Lely at the moment in his Bentleys that go through the corkscrew. What a beautiful camera angle that was. Yeah. So this race is well and truly underway as we go through turn 10, because that's its name, and into turn 11, hard on the brakes. So the little concertina effect there. I thought we had someone go off from the look of that, but no, thankfully we don't. So Traction's out up front. He's got he's built a 6 tenths gap over Michael already. Floppy's put himself up onto the podium in 3rd place. And then we've got Spacey, as we can see there. So let's go on board with Spacey, because he's got Lely all over the back of him at the moment. And this is, again, I just love these views. We can see what's going on in front. You can see the 2 Lambos line astern there. And then it looks to pull a little bit again. Some internet issues there, which is getting on my nerves slightly this evening. That's how I'll put that one. So Spacey's looking to close up now. Lenny really needs to try and take advantage of this situation at the moment, because it's probably not going to last forever, I would think, once Spacey gets into his rhythm. Gamer Dad, fantastic drive from him so far. He's got himself up to 6th place there with his lovely pinky purple wheels as they go through the corkscrew. Everyone's still holding it together. There goes Gamer Dad through there. Then I Am Slow, he's got himself into 7th place. Remember, him and Gamer Dad qualified with exactly the same time. There was nothing between them whatsoever. So I'm expecting those two to be pretty much stuck together for the entire race. And then Marrick's got himself up to 8th. He did qualify 10th, I believe, so that's good from him. And we've got people jumping in the pits early. So I Am Slow comes in, as does Marrick. Andy in his McLaren. The McLarens are not having a great day, I've got to say, at the moment. They're not having the best time of it. But he is the leading McLaren at the moment. Crazies is then behind him. He's his teammate. He's 2.3 seconds down the road. Then Fresh Jinx, who's coming under attack from Renville. So let's go on board with Fresh Jinx so we can keep an eye on what is going on. So nothing doing in the mirrors. So he seems to have pulled away a little bit there. And as you would expect on the straight, so on that long sort of start and finish straight, that Lexus has got quite a bit of power. But Fresh, you are in the top 10, my friend, so keep that up, buddy. Keep that up. Let's keep an eye on that with everything else. So I Am Slow is in the pits. Marrick's in the pits. Fresh Brizzle is in the pits. Okay, so that needs to change. And Will's already been in and done his stop. Doesn't surprise me. So Will was the one who had that contact with Fresh Brizzle, I do believe, as I Am Slow comes out of the pits there. Look at that nice wide line by Will, taking that double apex. It's got to get on the power now. These two, it's got to be close. It's got to be very close. Very close. Okay, so we're on board with I Am Slow. He's just come out of the pit, so he can now race to till the finish. But Will's already done his stop, so he can also race to the finish. So although they're 12th and 13th at the moment, obviously no one else is, you know, the guys in front have got to do their stops. So that's going to be interesting. Traction Dave, there we go. He's currently still out up top. 3 laps completed. He's got a 2.5 second lead back to Michael. That's impressive. And then Floppy is a further 1.7 behind him. So here's your real fight at the moment. We've got Floppy Fox, Spacey and Lely. Remember, Spacey qualified second and had an actual 0.000 time difference between him and Dave until the very last lap. So he's got pace in that Ferrari. I think he's maybe feeling a little bit ruffled. Obviously he lost a couple of places right at the start, so he just needs to get in the groove a little bit more. And then we've got Lely, who he wants to make a move, doesn't he? So let's go through the corkscrew again as Lely closes up onto the back of Spacey in his number 12 Ferrari as they go and get on the power zone. Go. So again, we're talking, you know, we've got one of these situations where Spacey's in the sandwich at the moment, so he's got Lexus in front, who's obviously quicker in a straight line, and we know Floppy Fox, which is Michael in the live chat, was saying that he's not getting on with this track in that Lexus, so he's probably not driving at his ultimate pace because he's too busy trying to babysit that Lexus. And then we've got Lely, who is ever present in that Bentley. He, you know, he's always quick and consistent as Floppy. Goes a little bit too wide there. Spacey thought about that. Better off it, backed out. If he'd have carried on the throttle there, he probably would have tagged the back quarter of him. And well, obviously you don't want that to happen. You'll both be out. And that obviously drew Lely right onto the bank. So these three are having a great scrap at the moment. You see in the background there, we've got that other Lexus lurking. That would be Gamer Dad. So Gamer Dad is just keeping a watching brief. And so in terms of track times, so Traction's now up top. He's got a 2 second gap. So Floppy Fox and Spay, yeah, these guys, this is where the battle is at the moment. I did say at the top of the show, and I did say just after qualifying, after that amazing qualifying session we saw, that this race was going to be busy and tight. And this is what I absolutely love about this. You've got a Lexus, a Ferrari and a Bentley all racing each other completely honestly. Pace is good. Look like they're catching up to Michael there, and then you've got a Lambo as well, so it's awesome. Are we going to get a move? Remember, in the last lap, coming down into the Andretti hairpin, Floppy Fox went really wide and deep into there. So this time, Space, again, they're so close. Look at that. Wow. I mean, and Lely wants a piece of that as well. I thought we were going to get contacts. That's twice that Spacey's had to maybe back out slightly, or certainly take avoiding action, probably just because he's got a quicker line through there than Floppy Fox, which he's got a breather now, which is good for him, I suppose. Some great racing here. Let's go on board with Lely. Let's see how Lely's getting on in the Bentley, because we've also got Gamer Dad all over the back of him, so we can see a different perspective now on how Lely is trying to attack Spacey and what Spacey is trying to do with regards to Floppy Fox. Keeping in mind Gamer Dad's right on the tail, and we know Gamer Dad likes a move. What's his favourite saying? Send it, I do believe, is Gamer Dad's favourite saying. So we'll stay on board with Lely at the moment, because we are again coming up towards the Andretti hairpin, which we've seen some very, very near misses on the last 2 laps between Spacey in front and Floppy Fox in front of him. So Lenny's got to be thinking, which way, how do I try and position the car to take advantage of any potential contact there. And that's clean from all, which is good. Right, let's have a look at the other times. Traction's still out up the top. That's great racing from him. He's got a 5.5 second gap down to Michael, which is, that isn't a small gap, that's a huge gap. Then we've got Floppy's almost 2 seconds behind, Spacey's 6/10, and then Lenny's 6/10 again. Gamer Dad's 7/10, and then we've got a gap of 5.8 tenths 5 seconds, sorry. Oh, Lely's lost it. Lely's lost it, and he's ended up in the tyre barrier. Probably a little bit too eager on that throttle coming out of there, and back end's obviously just got on him. That is very unfortunate, Lely. You've got some work to do now, mate. So Gamer Dad is elevated up to 5th place as he goes through the corkscrew. Spacey's going to be really happy about that, because that means he can breathe, and he's now again well, taking that fight to Floppy Fox. So those two are no doubt going to become best mates really soon again, which obviously we will keep an eye on. So Lely's now in 6th place with some work to do. Crazy's is in 7th, 1.3 seconds further back, and then Renville's in 8th. That's great from him. Fresh Jinx, sorry, is in the top 10 in 9th place in his McLaren. So the top 9 have not pitted yet, whereas the guys below that, so Will Friedman is in 10th currently. He's pitted, did a really early stop. He had a slight coming together with Fresh Brizzle, I do believe. I Am Slow is 11th, again has pitted. Marek Mariola's 12th, has pitted. Andy 13th, has pitted. And then Fresh Brizzle is bringing up the rear, and he also has pitted. So I do know from the chats we've had, we've definitely got 2 drivers in here this evening that are not enjoying the track and their car combinations, and that will be Floppy Fox in 3rd, Fresh Brizzle, who is currently 14th. So Crazies is now all over the back of Lely, so of course we want to have a little look at that, don't we, guys? Yes, we do. So we've got 90 minutes left of this race. 1/3 has been completed already. Now remember, whoever the top 5 are for this particular race, wow, that was extremely close. I'm sure you all saw that. So as we came into the corkscrew, into the braking zone for the corkscrew, Crazy's just, I mean, if he was carrying that much extra pace, maybe he missed his braking point, or I don't know. I'll be interested to see what happens there. That would be very unlike him if he did that, but then Lenny doesn't play games either. So anyway, Crazy's ended off. That looked like Spacey was in the pits. He is. Crazy's is also now in the pits. So strategies are now beginning to play out. Not for Traction or Michael. Those two are quite happy up front, and that's what they're doing, and they're enjoying it up there. So I'm not going to look at them too much. I don't want to jinx anything, especially you, Fresh Jinx. So Floppy's currently still in the podium position. Gamer Dad's in 4th. He's going to be very happy with that. So Spacey's in, Crazy's is in, Fresh Jinx is in. Now, I always sing the praises of Crazy's. So I did there, praises, for his pit stops. He's normally very, very quick in there. But let's have a look. So he's coming through the corkscrew at the moment. So let's see if Floppy pits this lap to try and react to what Spacey's just done. Remember, there was only 3/10 between them before Spacey came into the pits. So I just want to see if Floppy comes in or not, and then we'll let go and have it. So Floppy does come into the pits as expected. So Will Friedman is now up to 7th place at the moment, which is very interesting because he's come out ahead of Spacey, as has I Am Slow. So those boys doing their early pit stops seems to have really worked in their favour. Again, this is why I love it. All these little strategies, you see them all play out. So now let's keep an eye on Floppy and Will Friedman, because if Will can jump him as well, that is no mean feat. So he's coming up towards the corkscrew. Floppy's still in the pits. So Andy's only half a second behind Crazy's, his teammate. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Floppy is still in the pits, as Will has 2 corners left to go. This is number 10. So Floppy's on his way out. Okay, so Will's coming through the final corner onto the start-finish straight, and Floppy's making his way down that pit lane. This is going to be close. It's not close, not even near close. So Will is up to 6th. Wow, again. And you know, if I'm looking at his track time, you know he's going to be getting quicker and quicker as we go through this race. That's just the way he does it. So he's coming out there, as you can see. So I Am Slow is now going to be battling away. Nearly they touching. They nearly had a little love tap there. So Floppy's ended up out behind Will and I Am Slow. don't want to say that's his race over, because it won't be over. We've got a lot to happen yet. Renville comes into the pits to get his mandatory stop done, as we're probably approaching halfway now. So yeah, anyone in the live chat, what do you reckon? Is it going to be a Lambo 1-2? Or is anyone else going to have anything to say about that? Gamer Dad is going long in his Lexus. Lenny's going long in the Bentley at the moment. So I think Will's in a really strong position. He'll have that Ferrari dialed in by now. And obviously she'll be working nicely. Pit stop was done very, very early. Fresh Brazil still going, so well done, buddy. Just keep going, mate. Points. And you, Fresh. Jinx. Bit of a slide there.
We are halfway through. Keep it up.
So 15 minutes completed, 15 minutes to go. So traction is coming up to lap. Is that traction there then? Yeah, traction's coming up to lap Andy. Which, I mean, come on guys, we can't really underestimate that. We've just had to call it. We're halfway through the race. So we've done 15 minutes of the race and traction's already lapping people. That's bonkers. That is absolutely bonkers. Just shows how much pace he has got. Gamer Dad decides he's going to stick his Lexus into the pits and get that stop out of the way. So Will could. Where is he at? Okay, so he's coming up to the corkscrew. He should probably get out ahead of Gamer Dad then, because he's just stopped in the pits. So Will, I think, is in a really strong position to maybe challenge for a podium. If he can do that, bearing in mind, I think he qualified 6th, which was a good run in terms of qualifying, but then had that bump, shall we say, at the start in the first few corners with Fresh Brazil. So he elected to pit early, and he's just running long. But given it's only a half an hour race, you know one set of tyres will definitely last that half an hour, so why not get the stop done up early? So, anyway, Gamer Dad still sat there. Will's coming round. Same again, same thing's going to happen again. So Gamer Dad just sets off now, and there goes Will. See you later. So Will is up to 4th, and Lenny hasn't pitted yet. Obviously traction on Michael haven't pitted either, but those boys are out of there at the moment. You know, Michael's 10.5 seconds behind traction, so that's the kind of pace those two are running. Lenny's a further 11.3 seconds behind, and then everybody else behind them have pitted. So we'll look at I Am Slow. That did say that he was 3/10 behind. That's obviously not the case, but Spacey and his friend Floppy Fox are back where they were. There's only a couple of tenths separating them. Let's go on board with Floppy then. Let's see what that Lexus is actually like for him. So he's got I Am Slow in front. Remember, all of this is for position. So we've still got some absolutely fantastic racing going on here. It's just we've got different people in that order now. As the cars are jumping around in front of me again. They're doing that really well tonight, aren't they? So Spacey's looking to mount an attack again on Floppy Fox. And you have to say, I mean, just on free practice and qualifying pace, Spacey is quicker. Spacey was only 2/10 off pole, but he just can't seem to get that pace going in the race. So Michael's just coming out of the pits. Where's Will? Oh wow, this is going to be closer. This would be absolutely amazing. Will Friedman's up to 3rd. I tell you what, this guy, that is absolutely amazing. Michael's sitting there now going, no thanks, I'll have that one back. And Will's like, see you later. So Will elevates to 3rd place. Traction is now in the pit, so you would assume Traction's going to be safe just because of the amount of pace that he's got. But Lely is not safe. Lely's now bringing it into the pit. So this is the interesting part. We will look at the other battles going on, because we've only got 5/10 there, 3/10 there, but I am very, very intrigued to see how Will gets on. So Will's on the run up towards the corkscrew again. He's not gonna jump traction, but Lely's the interesting one. So through corkscrew, nice, no dramas there, no dramas at all. So traction's off. So pit stop complete for traction. He's got to bring this home now. He's got to hold it together. Nice and calm, Dave. Just do what you need to do, mate. And then Will is coming up to the last corner. Has Lenny moved yet? No, he hasn't. Will's going to get a 2nd place. So Lenny starts to move now, and sayonara. Will Friedman, what an amazing race, my friend. What an amazing race so far. I don't want to curse it, but wow. So Michael holds third. Then we've got I Am Slow. And Lenny's there, you can see Lenny's there. He's just coming to try and get out of the pits. That's Gamerdad in front of him. So Lenny's lost quite a few places in that pit stop. So the undercut is strong here. Traction's got an 11-second lead over Will. Right, what's close? These boys are still pretty close, aren't they? Yes, they are. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got 4 altogether. We've got Michael, I Am Slow, Floppy Fox, and Spacey. 4 very mediocre, not particularly fast drivers. I think you all know I'm being sarcastic there. These guys are all a mega fast. So, hey watching, good evening everybody. If you haven't said hello yet on the live chat, please do. Also, can I ask you, if you're enjoying what you're seeing at the moment, please just drop a like. That would be absolutely awesome. It helps the channel, helps FRL, helps get more exposure to all of our amazing races. So Spacey just dropped off the pace a bit there. Let's get on board with I Am Slow. Right, so I Am Slow, with his controller, remember, he's now trying to attack Michael Races, the current race of champions within FRL, and pretty much owns every single lap, fastest lap. So he's trying to chase him down into Andretti hairpin, and he wants to keep Floppy Fox behind. Now I will give Floppy Fox his dues. He did do a race earlier on this evening before the FRL race with SOP and finished 4th in that race. So he's not like he's turning up here completely fresh as a daisy. He's already used some mental capacity earlier on, so he's doing extremely well. He doesn't like that car here either. So Traction is still doing what he needs to, but I want to just look at the times. So Traction's there. Okay, so he's still got a 10-second gap. Okay, that's good. Right, so Michael's now pulled a second on these guys, and then, okay, that's to be expected, I think, with Michael's pace. So I Am Slow, Floppy Fox, and Spacey is now the 3-way fight. We had a different 3-way fight earlier on. And look at Marek. Oh, I just caught us at Crazies again. So that's twice Crazies has been off. So he is not having a great race. That's unfortunate, Crazies. It's obviously pushing the aero on that McLaren just a little bit too hard. So Marek, we haven't really looked at Marek so far in this race. He's gone really fast, if I'm honest with you. He's currently in 9th place, so still within the top 10. Well, that is good. And he's chasing down Lely, who before the pit stops was 4th with designs on 3rd, and then got done in the pit stops by some of that rather good strategies, I must say. Traction extends his lead at the top. It's now 11.5 seconds. Don't think anybody's catching him. Does Marek have the pace to challenge Lely? He's lost a couple of tenths so far in this lap. Let's go on board with the Ferrari and see what she's like, see what she's up to. No, we're on with Lely instead. And he's pulled another couple of tenths. So, I mean, Lely is quicker than Marek. There's no two ways about that one. So, that's to be expected. However, if you want to throw it off the track, I mean, that's probably going to give Marek, a little bit of motivation to scamper away now. So Marek puts himself up to 8th place, takes advantage of that off track from Lely, which is unfortunate. But we know it happens very easily, as Marek is demonstrating to us right now, which means Lely, oh boys, keep it clean. So Lely, these two are just putting each other off, I think. So Lely's trying to close back up on him. There's a battle up ahead there. I need to see what that was. Spacey and Gamerdad. Oh, look at these two. So Spacey takes the inside line through Andretti hairpin there. So Gamerdad, but Gamerdad hasn't lost that place. Gamerdad is getting on the back of these guys. So he's obviously really getting to grips with that Lexus round here, which bodes well for race 2. You've also got to remember the top 5 go to the back of the grid. So Spacey, although he won't want to be 6th, would probably be fairly confident that he could replicate that qualifying form and start pole on the next race. So it's not all lost. That's the beauty of having the sort of partial reverse grid in the second race. We've got just over, well, it's 5.5 minutes to go until this one is complete. It's been absolutely breathless so far. We've had some epic qualifying, we've had some epic battles at the start of this race. You can't deny Traction is driving magnificently up top. Let's have a quick look at him. No, I'm not going to Traction. No. Don't want to hate mail if something happens wrong. But Will Friedman, I mean, you've got to say, Will Friedman qualified 6th, had an issue with Fresh Brazil at the start, pitted early, and I mean like first lap early, and has just been ultra consistent. And this is what Will always says. He says he's not an alien, he's just very consistent. That's what all aliens say, obviously, as he goes under my tyres bridge there. So he's got himself up to 2nd place. Excellent drive, really impressed with that. Michael's in 3rd, 2.6 off Will, and then I Am Slow's another 3 seconds behind. Floppy Fox is in 5th, Spacey's 6th, and that's the challenge we were just watching a moment ago with Gamer Dad. There is 6.5 temps between those two, though that is the closest battle on track, so let's stick with them. Marek is in 8th, if you remember, Lely had that off, and then Andy is not. Andy's got to be really happy with that, although he is beginning to come under some pressure, so I think Lely's maybe pushing himself too hard. But Renville, look at him, we haven't even looked at Renville so far this evening, and he's in 11th place, but he's catching up with both of these two. So that could be a nice little battle developing. And let's not forget, let's go on board because that's going to get tasty, I feel. We are going to get a move very shortly. Are we going to get a move through the corkscrew? Hold on! No, everyone's alive. Well, we've seen things happening there, let's be honest. And it is a dicey part of the circuit, as they go into 10 and then into 11 and back onto the start-finish straight. So Lely, I think, is going to make a. I think Lely's going to put a move down into the Andretti hairpin at the start, because he's got hold of that Bentley. I think he's more at one with that car than what Andy is in that McLaren at the moment. So let's see. On the brakes, down to 1st gear. Claire turned in. A little bit of throttle there, you saw that, just to pull the car round, then a pause, let it settle down, and then back on the power again. So I was wrong with that one, couldn't make a move in there, but he is very, very close. 7 tenths between them, I think it's closer than that. So Renville in his Lexus, currently in 11th place. Fresh Jinx in his McLaren, he is still going, and that's it, buddy. You keep on going. You are in 12th place at the moment. I know you're not having the best time in that McLaren, and haven't been all day, but you're still at it. And then Fresh Brizzle is battled his way back from 14th place. Crazy's, I probably don't blame him, he's probably a bit annoyed that McLaren has not been kind to him in race 1, but I'm sure Fresh Brizzle would like to try not to be, I don't want to say last, but last, I think. So Gamer Dad, 8.5 tenths off the back of Spacey. Spacey is 7 tenths off the back of Floppy Fox. It's ridiculous. Excuse me. Something has jumped into one of my spying devices, which is fabulous. Anyway, so as we continue watching, I'll do it with one eye. That's fine. I've got 2 of them. Yeah, so Spacey's really trying to put that pressure on Floppy Fox at the moment. And you could just see in the rear view, we've got Gamer Dad, who wants a piece of the action. I don't think he's going to get it. We've got just under 1.5 minutes left of the race, and then evidently, if Traction crosses the line, we will get that additional lap. So through the corkscrew again. I'm impressed. I am impressed though with how planted these guys have got these more twitchy cars, so the Lambos and the Ferraris, to behave at the moment on this track. As you can see from the types of directional change, you would assume that's got to mean, well, a little bit of tail happiness, really. So Traction's on his final lap. Not going to look at him. Michael is now all over the back of Will, so here's a battle for second place. So this battle we're seeing developing right here on the final lap of the first race this evening. It's either going to be a great finish for Will, or it's going to be potentially a 1-2 for One Fast, One Furious, the boys in the Lambos. Beautiful lines, boys. Was that a little flash there? Don't think so. I think that's probably a glint of sunlight, if I'm being kind. So 5 watching at the moment. Hope you're enjoying the racing, peeps. Let me know. Oh, as Michael gets very, very close, and he saw that obviously he didn't get the perfect line on the exit there, but he's pushing hard. He's only got a couple of corners to go. Traction Dave crosses the line for his Traction. Well done, buddy. That is your maiden victory at Formula Racing League. It has been coming, mate. It has definitely been coming for a couple of weeks. And Will crosses the line second. Michael's third. Great race from you two at the end. Will, fantastic drive. Traction, mate, that was a pleasure. You were absolutely awesome in qualifying. Scintillating actually in qualifying. Yeah, you get them donuts going. I want at least 4. Come on, do it properly. Great race, held it together, not a mistake, and that is the difference. Yeah, that's it. You know, love tapped, I am slow. That's all right. Michael's probably going to do the same now as well. Go on, boys. Let's see some donuts from all of you. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. What a way to finish. So let's give you the order. I mean, I'm enjoying watching all this lot spaz around doing the look at it. Come on, let's get the whole field on doing donuts. Come on, boys, that would be amazing. So race 1, there you go. We have Traction Dave with his first ever Formula Racing League victory. Very well deserved. Traction. Will Friedman with an epic drive to be second place, actually, from what happened in lap 1. Michael, a deserved podium in third, so some great points for the team there. I did say it wouldn't be long before they moved up. I Am Slow finishes 4th. Great effort from you, buddy. Floppy Fox 5th. In a vehicle that he wasn't particularly happy with, so that's a good run for him. Spacey finished 6th. Probably won't be massively happy with that, considering he qualified 2nd, but it was still a good race. Had some good fights in there. Oh, don't want to do that. And then we had Gamer Dad 7th, who kept him really honest. Marek finished in 8th, good run for him into the top 10. Andy's got to be really happy with that 9th place in that McLaren. Lenny 10th will be disappointed. We always have race 2. Renville 11th, I think Lenny must have got him in the end then. And then Fresh Jinx, the Lone Ranger, if you like, in his McLaren, he finished 12th. Fresh Brizzle finished 13th. And then Crazies didn't finish the race. We saw him have a couple of offs, which was unfortunate, so no doubt some issues going on with that car, and GT Jamie just thought he'd join the server so that his name's on the grid. But wow, Will says, Will's very modest. We know what he's like, you know, our French Will is very modest, and he says, I'm kind of a strategist. Ah, ha 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 ha. I know you are, mate. I know, no doubt about that. That was a really, really good run. Very impressed. Smalley's still spying. That's fine, man. You carry on. Watch the whole lot. It's all good. So what do we think about that, guys? Has Traction deserved that win? It's been coming for a few weeks, I have to say. And we've all seen Traction on his streams with his little face on there. Every time he makes a mistake, he's like, oh no! But he's held that one together beautifully today. Well done. And I'm sure Michael will say it was because of him, and he made sure he had that 10-second gap and he held the field up, but I don't think he did. I think that was just great driving. So congrats, podium. So race 1 is done, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this is the Formula Racing League GT3 Sunday Championship. It's round 3 at Laguna Seca. We've just had a 30-minute sprint race. In fact, I mean, the 30-minute sprint race was more than entertaining, but if you haven't managed to see the start of this stream, please watch qualifying, because the top 2 were separated by 0. Yeah, I don't mean I've missed off a 1,000th. I mean 0.000. You have to watch that. Totally amazing. great race. So now we have a short break, an interlude if you will, and the chaps are obviously probably just dabbing their brow, opening up another can, I don't know what they're doing, and just getting a breather and thinking, wow, that was pretty cool. We're going to have a shorter qualifying session for race 2, which will be 10 minutes, and during that the top 5, so Traction, Will, Michael, I Am Slow and Floppy Fox, you boys cannot set a qualifying time, as you all know. You can go out and check your tyre pressures, but you can't qualify. So those boys are going to start at the back for the second race, which is absolutely fantastic. But that also means now we've got open season. Everybody else now, and who's going to fancy it? And I'm pretty sure he's going to fancy it. GT Jamie? Is somebody telling me that he's in the race? Has he managed to get on? Looks like he has. Wow, okay. Welcome. I'm glad you're with us, mate. Glad you're with us. So GT Jamie's in, coming to support his teammate, no doubt, which is Spacey. Aha, I know what it is. He's thinking to himself, oh, I really couldn't be bothered to race tonight, but now Traction and Michael have done that. That's got to give them a lot of points in the team championship, so I better get my backside on and earn us some points. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Right, so these boys are out. Spacey's got to fancy this one. He's got to fancy it. I mean, he qualified second in the first race, and you know, in terms of pace wise, it was him, Traction, him and Michael were streaks ahead of everybody else. So if GT Jamie's got any kind of similar pace in the sister Ferrari, this could be looking quite good for these guys. Where's Game with Dad? Game with Dad's around there. So who's 12? So Spacey's going to be first out the bag, right? So let's get on board. So we've got a shorter qualifying session. You can see the time at the top there. So it was already, we've only got 8 minutes left. So what, people are going to get an opportunity to get probably three quick laps out of this one. So people in the live chat, who do you think is going to end up on pole? Let me know. Drop a like. It's only 4 likes. Takes half a second, guys. Like. Helps me out. Spacey goes deep into Andretti hairpin there, so he's going to have to make some up for the rest of this lap. But we'll stick with him. Well, I haven't obviously shown everybody this evening like I normally do my coffee delivery device, my Formula Racing League one. Again, you can pick any merch up from our league through the website, formularacinglleague.co.uk. You can have a look at that. You can look at the Patreon for the league. You can have a look at the merchandise. You can join up to series, which is obviously completely free. Yeah, come and get involved. We do not bite. Hopefully, from what you're seeing, we do provide excellent racing. So Spacey's invalidated that one, which that's putting him under pressure straight away there. So he won't be massively happy with that. What's Jamie up to? Well, at least he hasn't invalidated this one so far. Right, good evening. We've got 9 in at the moment. Do you know what, guys? If you'd have all joined earlier on today, you could have done Coop's competition, but that was won by Smalley, and it was, that was a good effort by him. We're just in qualifying for race 2, and what an epic first race it was. And an even more epic qualifying session, I have to say. And I'll keep banging on about it, but it's not very often you see that happen. So if you don't know what I mean, have a little watch after this, because it's well worth having a look at. So GT Jamie's currently in second place. He's trying to better that. She looks a little bit loose on him, I've got to say. Renville, Game with Dad does a 24 flat, and if you remember we had a 22, we were in the 22s for qualifying the first one. Doubt, hello, good evening Doubt, I am extremely well my friend, I hope you're well buddy, thank you for joining, please remember to press like. What have you been up to Doubt, let me know, you've been racing tonight, been stewarding? and you've missed a ridiculously good first race and qualifying session. So this one is going to be something else. Traction Dave has won his maiden FRL race by, well, a lot. He absolutely smashed everybody in that last race, and our very own Will Friedman used his strategy to perfection to pretty much pit on lap 1 and come through and finish second. Very impressed. Jamie's on a controller. Hold on a minute. GT Jamie, go on, get out and maybe on to these steering inputs, because I was on a controller earlier. That's the wrong button. I want to see how smooth those inputs are. Oh no, you could see his head. Yes, right. Watch the hands, people. Is he on a controller? He's definitely on a controller. You need to practice more, because I am slow. He doesn't look like you or me when we're on a controller. So, it's fantastic. Right, okay, let's come away from that. We're not trying to see who is and isn't on a controller. So, I did say to you at the top of this one, Spacey would be fancying this because of how he qualified in race 1. And there you go. He's currently sat provisional pole with a 1:22.989, which is rapid. Crazy's in his McLaren is just under half a second off that pace, which actually is a marked increase on the last one. But if you do remember, qualifying 1 we had a fast track. We now have an optimum track, so 23 ambient, 25 on track. That's screaming for quick times. So I can, Spacey's gone quick already. That's got to be the new lap record. That's quicker than Traction's, I do believe, or very, very similar. So I think we've got another new lap record set this evening, which is brilliant. The standards just keep going up and up and up. So Crazy second place. Gamer Dad's currently sat potentially in third, but 1.287 off the pace. That is absolutely ginormous. Then we've got Letty fourth, Marek's currently fifth, Andy sixth, Renville is seventh at the moment, Jamie's eighth on his controller, Fresh Brizzle is 9th, and then Fresh Jinx is in 10th. So obviously Traction, Floppy, I Am Slow on his controller. Will and Michael, I mean, you guys can go out if you want to just check your tyre pressures, but you can't set a time. Just have a quick look in here. Destroyed our endurance race today. Struggling with FPS 50. Wow, 50 in the race. That must have been busy, Dal. That must have been very busy. Very busy indeed. Well, Floppy, I was saying, he says he wishes he'd come sick. I was saying on the comms that, you know, we know that the top 5 have to sit out, and it represents a brilliant opportunity. However, I'll share this with you, right? But don't tell everyone else that's listening, okay? Will Friedman in race 1, he pitted on the first lap and came second. There you go. Strategy complete, guys. All pit on the first lap, and then you front 5 can just battle each other through the field when they all pit, and you can have a scrap for first place. I think that sounds like a great idea. Okay, that's okay. I don't charge for pit strats. That's fine. But I'm expecting all of you guys to do that. I don't expect any of you to hang it out long, to be quite honest. I mean, I wouldn't. Wow, look at that. Space is just in a 1:22.296. I don't think we're going to see a 21, are we? And that would be that would be illegal, I think. I know Tracy's lap record went in qualifying 1, Del, where Traction beat that in qualifying 1, and Spacey's, well, that's done. So Crazy's doing well though to be still hanging in there in provisional second at the moment, because I mean that McLaren was not kind to him at all in race 1. So we've got a minute left again, and this is that exact thing happened in race 1 at that point as well. So he's obviously pushing hard, maybe a little bit too hard. So under a minute left for qualifying for race 2. I did say it was going to be a quick one. My screen's telling me all sorts of information now. Smalley says he can do 23s in the Bentley. Not sure what he could do in the Lexus. Well, there you go. I can feel a time trial event coming on by popular demand. We'll see. So Spacey's currently still provisional pole. He's decided to go and sit in the pits. I think he could be quite confident with that. Crazy's will get another lap in, so he's the only one it looks like he's got to challenge him at the moment, but he's still a second off the pace almost. So this is going to have to be the lap of his life to challenge for that one. Lely's sat potentially third place. Gamerdad's in the pits, so he's happy with his lot in fourth. Andy's still out there, 2 seconds down. I don't think he's going to make a move on Gamerdad, to be honest with you, as we move into the wait time. Marek's in the pits, he's done 6th. Renville's in the pits, he's done 7th. Although he's only 30 thousandths behind Marek, so those two could have a good race together. Fresh Brizzle 8th, he's done. GT Jamie on his controller 9th, he's done. And Fresh Jinx is still out there. Looks like he's just had a bit of a moment in his McLaren. So Lenny pulls into the pits, well, he's finished, so he's got to start 3rd. Then you've got Traction, Floppy, I Am Slow, Will and Michael, who are all completely reversed, if you remember, for the start of race 2. That is super fast. Yeah, totally agree. So to have you watching now, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you this, okay? There's 12 of you watching. Press the like button, please. Yeah, you are all very welcome to stay and watch this race. Of course you are, and everything we do here at FRL. Press the like button, it gets it out to more people to see what FRL is about, and hopefully these boys are going to give us, well, a race just like we had in the first one, except this one's got a lot of jeopardy in it, because those front 5 who are starting from the back, they've got to fight hard, haven't they? Got to get through the field, unless they do Will's pit stop strategy and all pit straight away. I'm sure that's what they'll do. So we wait. It's still optimal track, which is fantastic. It's gone up a degree ambient wise, so that will make a small difference, not a huge one, but they'll have to think about that in terms of their setup, what they're going to do with those tyres or brake ducts, whichever one they want to do. So my money for this one is on Spacey. It is on Spacey. Now, if I was Spacey, I would complete most of my first lap and pit straight away. Get it out of the way. Your tyres aren't going to die in a 30-minute race, yeah, unless you're ridiculously overdriving that car. So you know you've got the pace. Get the kerfuffle out of the way in the first few corners. Get into the pits. Come back out in completely clean air and just bang in qualifying laps, because you have the pace to do that. That's what I would do. But I'm not out there, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Gamerdad's got a fancier shout at this one as well. I think him and Lely will have a good race together. Crazy's, I think Crazy's will get drawn into that fight, to be honest with you, because as good a driver as Crazy is, he's not had any luck really in this session at Laguna. He's just had issues, lots of trouble going on. So we know that McLaren, she's not doing what he wants her to do everywhere, and if he's then under, well, pretty consistent pressure from those two, that might force him again to just try and take a little bit too much, which we've seen happen a couple of times. So let's see. I think Andy's probably feeling rather nervous being up there in 5th at the moment, surrounded by these chaps. Marek will be quite confident. I think he'll be confident he can maybe make a move on Andy. Excuse me. Well, hay fever's in the house already by the look of it. Renville 7th, Fresh Brizzle, he's going to want to do something from 8th. I'm sure he is. We know Fresh has got some good pace on him. GT Jamie, how are you going to drive this race on your controller, my friend? It's going to be a very tough ask, that one. Who won the Coops competition? Del? Smalley won it. I asked what they put into the track when they reconfigured it, and he went and found out it wasn't 100% correct, but it was good enough that they actually put some ponds in the track, because Laguna Seca means dry lagoon in Spanish. There you go. Little lesson for everyone if you're just joining us. So 2 minutes to go before we get the formation lap underway for the second part of our GT3 Sundays double header that we always do. Absolutely love it. I love this race. There's so much that goes on in this race. There's so many connotations to what's happening. And usually there's a lot of action in the second race. Now, I'm not saying that the guys that are currently at the front are all trying to, you know, bully their way to a podium, but it is a great opportunity for them. But as I've said many times, you look at the names. You've got to look at the names on that grid. Spacey, lap record. Crazies, multiple championship winner within FRL. 5 million podiums to his name. Lely, ultra consistent in that Bentley, always in the top 3. Gamer Dad is our resident alien hunter. So again, if you haven't seen that, go and have a look at the podcast on the FRL YouTube channel. Gamer Dad is our alien hunter. Andy's showing some good pace. He's new with us. He's been with us for a few weeks now, but he's showing good pace. Marek is always there or thereabouts. Renville has stepped up from a lower tier this year, but he's doing very well. Fresh Brizzle's always quick. Jamie's normally, I mean, he's on a controller tonight, and he didn't take part in the first race, but Jamie's normally top 4, top 5 material. Fresh Jinx is consistently improving, so he's not slow by any means. Traction, what can we say about him? He's just won his first race, which has been coming for a few weeks. Floppy Fox is ridiculously quick. He's not long been with us, but very competitive. I Am Slow's the world's quickest guy on a controller. Will Friedman
20 seconds.
And Michael Races. I mean, there's no one slow in there. Not at all.
10 seconds.
Michael and Traction are Geordie, Smalley. Right, here we go then. Let's change that view. Okay, as we did earlier on. So formation lap, same as before. So these guys are now, they're going to get a lap. They're going to try and sort a few bits out. Make sure that they've got those tyres in the correct operating window. Extremely important. You don't really want to be ploughing down into the Andretti hairpin, worried about, do you have enough heat in your brakes, do you have your tyres up to temp and pressure, because it's going to be busy. There's going to be a lot going on there. So opportunity for these guys. The 5 at the back will be thinking, okay, what's the strat, what are we going to do? Do I wait and do the opposite of what others do, or do I just commit to my own plan? I'm very intrigued to see what happens. And Spacey is in a good position. We know he's really quick. We know it didn't go to plan in the last race. He got attacked and he lost a couple of places in the first couple of corners. He will be keen for that not to happen again. But again, I think you know what my thoughts are on that. Even if that does happen, get her in the pits early and just run with it afterwards, see what happens. So, right, this is going to be our final race for the evening. The entertainment level has been very high so far, and I'm expecting it to go up a notch again. That's it, boys, don't rush. Make sure you're doing it right. Try not to drive through each other. Up to the corkscrew. This is going to be interesting. Let's get quick. A little bit of water before this one gets going. You'll notice I haven't been moaning about my coffee delivery device this evening, on how every time I actually take a drink it's cold, because I was smart earlier on today. I made it early, so when I was watching practice I drank it then. So I actually had my coffee tonight, which is good. Anyway, as we're coming around towards the last turn, which is turn 11. Again, if you're wondering why there aren't loads of corner names, I said at the top of the show that the chap or the chapette who's tasked with naming the corners at Laguna obviously only had half a day, because there's 11 turns and only 4 of them have names. But there you go. So, on the start-finish straight, we are all lined up 2 by 2. This is race 2, round 3 of the Formula Racing League GT3 Sunday Championship as they cross the line. Green light, there we go. And Crazies has got a great start there. Crazies has definitely... Oh, okay, so Spazie's gone down the inside line. Crazies has managed to get ahead of Spazie. That was a fantastic start by Crazies to hang that around the outside. And look at Andy. Andy's made up a couple of places as well. So Gamer Dad is currently battling away with Renville there, I do believe. So we've got a very interesting start there. Obviously the computer's going to do its thing at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on that in a minute. Look at Andy. Look at Andy. Andy, Gamer Dad and Renville. Wow, that's fantastic. Oh, Lely, Spazie. Oh, God. So, Spazie has managed to get back in front of Crazies. We missed that move. So, Spazie, now, you need to get your head down, mate, and you need to just crack out. Wow, I think you should pit. I think you should pit straight away. So, we'll see what these boys do as they all filter through. Everyone is still alive at the moment. We're going to go to the back in a minute and have a look. So Floppy Fox, Michael, Traction, Will. Oh, they're all having so much fun already. Fresh Jinx may have had an issue with Marek then, because those two are at the back. And Crazy's pits straight away. So Crazy's listened to me, but then hit the wall. Oh, my word, man. That was unfortunate, Crazy's. So Crazy's took the right decision, I believe, to pit early. So Spazie may want to get a lap out and then pit, or he's got a strat and he's going to run with it. So let's see what happens. So Lenny's got himself up to second. Andy's in third, that is really impressive, Andy. You've got to take heart from that. Gamer Dad's in fourth place, trying to hunt him down, and then Renville's in fifth with I Am Slow just behind. So let's have a look at Gamer Dad. Who's that off the track? That's Lenny. See you, Lenny. Oh, wow. We saw in the background there, how did Lely not collect at least 3 cars there? So if that was, whether that was by look or judgment, I do not know. But thankfully, my heart was skipping a beat. We were looking through Gamer Dad's side window. I'm sure his was the same. And then I Am Slow is currently looking to make a move on Renville there. He's got that Bentley ahead as we go through the corkscrew. What a beautiful view that is. You see that drop where the cars all just drop down, and we've already got Traction Dave up to 6th place. This boy is rapid here this evening. I wish you wouldn't. No, it's not a pint of vodka, Dan. No, just normal water, my friend. I had a couple of bourbons yesterday evening with some friends down at the local. That was quite nice to get out for a couple of hours. Wow, okay, so let's have a look. So Spazie, he's got himself a 3.5 second lead now. I did say I fancied him at the start. Not in that way, obviously. So, I Am Slow. Oh, I Am Slow runs wide in. I Am Slow's just lost 2 positions there. So Traction, this is redonkulous, Traction. Traction. So we're on board with Renville. Let's just see the pace of Traction in front. Just see how easily he pulls away. So Traction is already up into the podium places. To say I'm impressed, that is an understatement. We've had 2 laps and Traction's gone from plumb last, or should have been plumb last, in terms of how the restarts work, to 3rd place. So GT Jamie with his controller, he's definitely playing the team points role today. Obviously wasn't with us for the first race, managed to get back on, and he's on a controller, so I mean fair play to him. Every point counts. So your top 6 have not pitted. Everybody else, well, I Am Slow has just put it into the pits. Everybody else listened to me. They did listen to me, and thank you everyone, and they've all pitted early. So they've all got a straight fight to the finish. Will's made that move. Is that Andy? Yeah, Will's made the move on Andy already. So Will's got himself up to 9th. So he's now splitting the McLarens. And then you've got Fresh Brizzle and Michael. Let's jump on board with Michael, see how he's getting on. So he, I was going to say, hasn't made as much ground as Traction, but obviously he's already done his pit stop. So we'll see how that plays out when the others decide to jump in. He's definitely gone for an alternate route there. Oh, Floppy Fox, just that lecture just kind of dumped herself down the hill there. And now we've got the big old Boatley in front, which Michael's going to look to put some pressure on very shortly. Still flying for me, so thank you, Michael. And we'll keep a view like that as Floppy comes into the background. Some excellent racing going on again, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, it's another half an hour sprint. One stop had to be completed, of which these boys are all done. So Lely is last. Obviously he has pitted though. Hasn't had a lot of luck so far in this race. It's gone border fresh. Let's see what it looks like to attack Andy and keep Michael behind you at the same time. Just look at the pace that he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful because Michael will, if Michael sees an opportunity, as any of them would do, as you saw then, Michael got rather close. I'm going to stick on board. Come on, boys, through the corkscrew. This is going to be epic. This is going to be, oh, close my eyes. Michael's gone off. No, Michael hasn't gone off. Wow, look at that. Michael went really, really deep then, or either that or it's just the internet. It certainly looked like he went off then. He's got a better drive out there, much better drive out there. You can see him in the wing mirror. He's just putting on, he's going to do a cutback. He's trying. Whilst these two are fighting, you know what I'm going to say, because you can see it happening. Floppy Fox is just behind Michael at the moment, and someone's just coming out the pits there. We'll see if that was traction in a moment. So he goes down the inside. That's not going to happen. He is all over the back. And meanwhile, Andy is getting a big breather out of this. I know it's only 8/10, but he's not really got anyone breathing down his neck. Fresh certainly has. Oh, Michael's dipped a wheel on the dirt there, so that's given Fresh Brizzle a breather, and that's put Michael massively under pressure now from Floppy Fox. Fabulous racing, gents, fabulous racing. So Floppy Fox in the Lexus, which he does not like at this track. We get the view from what's happening in his car. He's right on the back of Michael as we come up to the corkscrew again. See, I mean, the trust you've got to have, especially there. And we had someone go off there. Yeah, so Andy's binned it at the corkscrew. That's unlucky. So that's freed up Fresh Brizzle. Yeah, the dad jokes are totally natural. I write them down, Dal. I spend time thinking about them, and I jot them down. I think that's good for a Sunday, that one for a Tuesday. You know, have a target, a KPI each week of what I need to do. Okay, so Fresh Brazil, now he's in clean air. Seems to be trying to make a break for it, but Michael's gone with him, as you would expect. And Floppy Fox, he's just trying to hold on to the back of them, if I'm totally honest with you at the moment. So we've got to keep an eye on these. So the top four, so Spacey is still out up top. He's got a 4.8 second lead now over Gamer Dad. Renville is currently holding a podium spot. I think he'll just want to stay there until he has to pit, because hey, you're in third place. He's 5.5 seconds further down, and then GT Jamie with his controller is in fourth. Everyone else has pitted. The current leader, if you like, of the group that has pitted is Crazies, and remember, he pitted on lap 1, but probably damaged his car when he did it because he went into the tyre wall in the pit lane. So we'll see how that affects him. And Michael's still putting the pressure on Fresh Brazil. This is your closest battle on track at the moment. So given the fact that I keep getting issues when I'm on with Michael, we'll go on with Fresh and we'll have a look at it like that. Yeah, dad joke, but yeah, why not? So a third of this race almost completed on lap 7. That was an early change up. Obviously didn't want to be getting the back end down there. I'll change it there. There we go. So we see this one develop. Let's look at the times. Any change? No change in the top 4. Crazies is still there. And so everybody's similarly gapped at the moment, I have to say. So this is your fight. This is your fight that is happening and can come together a bit more. So you've also got to say that Fresh Brazil, I know he effectively finished last in the last race because he had a coming together with Will in the first couple of corners. He does have good pace. He does handle that Bentley well. And at the end of the day, he's keeping Michael massively at bay. You know, Michael's trying, he's trying to get him out of shape. Crazy's what? Okay, so maybe he's had another incident there. I don't think you're seeing Crazy's coming back out. Definitely not best friends with that McLaren. Crazy's, if you decide you're going to have a look at the stream, mate, please pop a comment in there and tell me what happened, whether there was an off or something else, mate. Alright. So Spacey, Gamey Dad, Renville and GT Jamie are still your top 4. Remember the Will Friedman show in race 1, he did his pit stop nice and early, as he has done in this race, and then literally just kept picking everybody off when they went into the pits. Every single lap. Start finish straight. There's another one. There's another one. So let's see if something similar can happen this time round. That'd be pretty amazing if it does. So Spacey's still out up top. He's got a 7.5 second lead over Gamer Dad. Who's that behind him? That's Marek. So that's obviously not for position. Just got to be nice and consistent and look for that race win. Gamer Dad will be happy with second place. So right, so he's there. Let's have a look. Where's GT Jamie? So GT Jamie, I don't think GT Jamie has enough time there, if I'm honest with you, to keep ahead of Will when he pits. Where's Renville? So Renville's there. Yeah, Renville might. So Will could still get on the podium again. So we'll have to see if he does get on the podium. Right, what else is going on? That is close. Floppy Fox, Michael and Fresh Brazil, well, they're still having their battle, aren't they? There we go. And is that Lely or I Am Slow? That's in the mix there. No, it's got to be I Am Slow then. Okay, so I Am Slow's had an issue. I Am Slow's obviously had an issue because Fresh Brazil was taking him and now Michael's behind him. So we have ourselves a new battle, ladies and gents. Let's have a look at this one. So it's now a 4-way fight. I'll have a look in a minute, Del. I mean, look at the difference in that lap time. So his best lap's a 23.4. His last was a 27, not about pretty much a 28. So he's definitely had an issue there. I'm just going to come off that for a moment because Dal has requested. He's doing 23 flats. Dal, 23 flats is his best in the race. So back to I Am Slow. So I Am Slow, he wants to challenge Fresh to get his place back. They're both in Bentleys, so they've both got the same pros and the same cons. He's got Michael Races all over the back of him. That's a totally different proposition. And Floppy Fox is just being patient. He's probably getting his safety rating up. That's probably what he wants to do. So he's being patient and he's just waiting for something to happen so he can capitalise on that. Is that going to happen? That's the question. It looks like we've got one of the top runners in the pits. So GT Jamie is in the pits. This is just too close. Can't come off this, can I? Not at all. A 4-way fight between 4 extremely quick, I would say aggressive. They all like to put a move in when there's one available, and they all like to defend when the time arises. So we shall see how this one develops. Oh, Spacey's definitely he qualified second. He qualified second in the first race, mate. He just he lost a couple of places at the beginning, and then it didn't go right for him. So yeah, I'm confident he can keep putting those times in, as this is looking a little bit tasty. He's got a good run on him down there into Andretti hairpin. Thought about that move. Fresh Brazil goes a bit defensive. There's a gap there. There is a gap there, and he's taking it. So Fresh ended up going a little bit too wide. GT Jamie's got himself a drive-through. Track limits, no doubt. Oh, but then I'm Slow's had an issue. Oh my word, and he's lost 2 places. Excuse me. So he's just lost, well, make that 3 places, because Floppy Fox has got a good run out of there. So he's now in the battle. Look at this. This is not a formation lap, boys. It shouldn't be 2x2, but carry on. So I Am Slow's now trying to come back at these. This is, I'm going to say, this is an epic battle. It's a 4-way battle, and I said Floppy Fox was waiting to pick up any pieces, and that is exactly what he's done as to go through the corkscrew. So Michael's ended up ahead of all of these boys, which is good for him, as Fresh has to cut the last part of the corkscrew. So they all now gap slightly. Wow, they probably need a bit of a breather. I know I do. That was amazing. So GT Jamie's got his drive through, which is unfortunate. Floppy Fox has got to be happy with that. He's made some good places up on there. So Will is currently in 4th place. Now Gamer Dad is just coming out of the pits. So it looks like Will's done him there. But it hasn't changed over. We'll see in a moment. So there you go. Will Friedman, again, is currently now sat on a podium. I did say I think he could get those 2. I do think he can also get Renville. Spacey is in the pits. So this is for your lead of the race, as Will comes up towards the final turn before the corkscrew. I know there's some other battles going on, but I do want to see what happens with this, because Will made up all of his places in the last race because of his strategy, and he's at it again, isn't he? So I'm sure he's going to get out in front of Renville. So Spacey is on his way. Here we go. 2 corners to go for Will. So I think he'll get Renville. Yeah, so he's on the start-finish straight. Renville hasn't got going yet. So Will Friedman, plumbing egg. Will Friedman finds himself again in 2nd place because of his smart pit strats. Spacey is just coming out of the pits. Wow, okay. We may have a race. I mean, they're not nose to tail, granted, but Spacey's only just come out the pits. Will is in the groove in his Ferrari at the moment. Yeah. So Gamer Dad, he's got to be happy with himself, hasn't he? So all the pit stops are done. Gamer Dad's on the podium. Definitely would have fancied that from starting where he did in race 2. Renville is in 4th. I don't think he's going to be in 4th for long. So Michael's made that move. So we look back. So I Am Slow, Renville, and Fresh Brazil. So that's happening at the moment. So can Michael? What's the time? What's the time difference? So Michael's here. Gamer. Oh, there's not a lot in that. Michael can catch Gamer Dad. Confident of that. And Renville, he's dropped down to 7th. He's going to have Fresh Brazil all over the back of him very, very shortly. And Andy and Marek are having a good battle there. You see, that's another cut. He's got to be careful. He's going to end up getting a penalty there. No doubt he's not making up any time. But Crazy's in the pits. Obviously his race is done. Fresh Jinx is back out again. Good. Traction is still... What Traction? Why are you 13th? Somebody tell me, why is he 13th? So you've obviously had an off in this race. Were you coming into the pits? What are you doing, Traction? Maybe that's it. Maybe he's done. Don't know. So Spacey is currently in the lead, 3.4 seconds ahead of Will Friedman. I don't think that's going to turn into a fight, I have to say, but I'll keep an eye on that Delta. Gamerdad's going to be happy at the moment with third, and then Michael's 10 seconds down in fourth. Floppy Fox is 1.5 off the back of him, and then we've got I Am Slow, Renville, who's doing very well to hold off Fresh Brizzle at the moment. And remember, these four, Michael, Floppy, I Am Slow and Fresh Brizzle, were having an absolutely monumental battle a couple of laps ago, and really, really worth watching, 2 by 2 throughout the whole lap, all changing places cleanly. It was beautiful. Marek is right on the back of Andy. Let's have a look at these guys. So we've got McLaren versus Ferrari, two cars which can be difficult to tame. Through the corkscrew when they're both still alive, and that's all that counts. So we've got under 10 minutes, we've almost got 9 minutes left, so 2/3 completed on this one. Everyone's pitted again. Points are extremely important. We ran through the team standings at the top. There was only like a point between 4 teams at one stage, so how this works out is going to be very important. As these two come into T1, so Floppy's now only a second behind Michael. Marek is still having that fight. That's the closest one on track at the moment. Lenny's in there. Lenny's still going, but look at him. He's 11th. Don't get it at all. Jamie's obviously 12th, but he's on a controller, but B, he has served a drive through, so it's going to be about damage limitation and points accumulation for him. Traction, I have no idea why he's 13th. Absolutely no idea whatsoever. 7 seconds down to 3. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Fresh Jinx is in 14th, and Crazies we know is having a breather. So that's 2 DNFs for Crazies during this evening. Not going to help his points at all. He was second in the championship, so we'll see. So Spacey, 15 laps completed out up front. Track temp's gone up quite a lot actually. It was 25 earlier, it's now 33, so that will be having an impact. Everything is pretty much as you were. Even the gap there between Gamerdad and Michael hasn't really moved. Excuse me. Michael's eked out another 4/10 on Floppy Fox, so that's 1.6 between those. Renville's 5 seconds behind him, and then Fresh Brizzle and I Am Slow, well, those two have reacquainted themselves, so it looks like I Am Slow's probably had another off. Now that's not because of bad driving. I'm 100% sure I Am Slow, aka the controller, aka Peter, is a very good driver, but he is on a controller, so probably going to be a little bit more harsh if he doesn't get it absolutely perfect. So Fresh Brizzle needs to get past Renville. That's too much curb. Oh, don't hit him. Oh my word, that was close. That was close. That was close. But anyway, no one got hurt. That's the important thing. So Fresh Brizzle loses that place. He goes down to 8th. I Am Slow puts himself up to 7th. He will want to attack Renville. I am very, very sure of that. And Marek and Andy are now only a couple of attempts between them. So we'll keep an eye on that one, and we'll keep an eye on Renville and I Am Slow at the same time. I've got to say, it's been a good drive. Oh, don't. That was super close. That was definitely evasive manoeuvres there by Marek. Now, whether that was because Marek had missed his braking point in the first place, or whether that was Andy taking it a little bit more pedestrian, shall we say, through that last corner, I don't know. But they didn't touch, and that is the important thing. Renville under pressure from I Am Slow. Big pressure. My money would be on the Bentley in that situation. So just over 5 minutes left. I mean, qualifying for race 1 was ridiculous. Yeah, as I've said to you guys before, you need to go and have a look at that. I've never ever seen a time which was 0.000 in the top two. That was absolutely crazy. And then you also had Gamer Dad and I Am Slow watching now, who were both also had exactly the same lap time. So that was pretty freaky. Race 1 was epic, some stunning battles. Traction Day with his first FRL win, and then obviously we've got the reverse grid scenario with the top 5, which has produced some really good battles. And here's another one. Is he going to go around the outside, or is he going to do a switch? He's trying to pull a switch. Renville pulls over slightly, so hasn't completely shut the door, but he's not making that particularly easy for I Am Slow, so he's going to go wide and look to cut back in, or oh, steady boys. Some good racing there, chaps. Nice and close. It's a nice battle we've got going on here. Under Cooper Tyres Bridge, that is my bridge. My bridge. Last of the late breakers. That was a brave move. But he did go slightly deep in there, so that's why he's got a slower exit out of there, and that is nice placement of that car, Renville. Good driving from you two. Yeah, I Am Slow did have to back out of that a little bit, but Renville placed that Lexus beautifully up the inside. So, I mean, that was all fair game in my opinion. And now I Am Slow's coming back at him again, so it just keeps on going. So, Spacey's still out up top, 4.4 seconds on Will. That looks in the bag to me. Gamer Dad's in 3rd place. He looks solid in 3rd place. Michael's in 4th. Floppy Fox is in 5th place. So those two, that's not a fight. That's now over 2 seconds. We're watching Renville and I Am Slow, and then behind them you got Fresh Brazil, who had that mistake. Andy in his McLaren. You know what? I'd be really happy with that. I know you had that spin on the corkscrew, but it's another top 10. Marrick's in the top 10. Can't complain about that. Then we've got Lenny, who's 11th. Probably a evening to forget, I think, for Lenny, considering his usual really high standards. Just hasn't fallen for him today for whatever reason. GT Jamie's out there. He's going to pick up some good points, even though he's on a controller. So well done you. Is that Will Friedman? That was Will Friedman. Will Friedman has lost it, and that is a big shame, because that is Gamer Dad. Oh, look at this, boys. Oh, the gift that just keeps on giving. That is FRL and our tier 1 boys. So we now have, I mean, that looked nailed on, those two in their positions, but now we've got 2 minutes left. We've got 2 laps left of this race, and now Will Friedman and Gamer Dad are neck and neck. This is for 2nd and 3rd on the podium. You would have to say, on pure pace, this shouldn't even be a fight. Yeah, on pure pace, Will, once he settles himself down, gets 2 or 3 corners in, should pull away from Gamer Dad, in my opinion. But that's all very well when you're in the fight. If you're not concentrating, if you're getting distracted, if you're paying attention to doubters and mirrors and all these other bits, that can distract from what your normal pace would be. So let's see, it's 0.4 at the moment as they're coming up towards the corkscrew, which is where Will lost it on the last lap. That was a quick double down change there. Alright Dale, good night buddy. Glad to have you with us, mate. Glad that you popped in, mate. Go get some rest. Alright, mate. Okay, leaders on the final lap, so that gap has now increased to 0.9. Yeah, as I said, on pure pace, I don't think Gamer Dad can touch him. So Spacey's on his last lap. Will 2nd, Gamer Dad is 3rd, Michael's holding 4th nicely. He's built a nearly 4-second lead over Floppy Fox, so that's not going to change. I Am Slow has now built a 2.4 second lead over Renville, so that looks pretty nailed on. And then we've got Fresh Brizzle. He's obviously had another off. Bloody heck, Fresh. Excuse me. I think I need another coffee. Right, Marrick's 9th at the moment, and he's coming under pressure from Andy. So those two are swapped over. Andy went really high into there, didn't he? So any chance he had of catching him up, that's probably gone just in that one corner. Then he's 11th, GT Jamie is 12th, Traction is 13th. No idea what's happened to Traction. Fresh Jinx is still running in 14th place, which is great to see, and Crazies is sat in the pits having a breather. But this isn't 100% done yet. I mean, there's only a second between them. And the second isn't a lot, one little mistake. So let's get bored with Game of Dad. Let's have a look. Let's see what's going on. Actually, no. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's catch Spacey crossing the line. Fresh Jinx stopped there, so we didn't have to do another lap. So Spacey crosses the line to take the victory for race 2 this evening. Well done, Spacey. I did call you would win this race at the start. I did fancy you for that, mate. Great pace, well done to you. So he picks up maximum points for this one. So he's at a 1st and a 6th, which is not bad, whereas Traction's at a 1st and a 13th. Will Friedman crosses the line for another 2nd place. Again, great pit strategy, nice driving there. You handled the pressure from Gamer Dad well. Gamer Dad brings it home in 3rd place. So there is your podium. Congratulations to you three. Michael comes across the line in 4th. Oh, here we go. We've got Donut Attack Central. Floppy Fox brings it home in 5th place. I Am Slow 6th. Renville 7th. Renville would have really enjoyed that race, I feel, because he had a lot of good battles and he had a lot of good people to follow or keep behind him. So I think he would have really enjoyed that one. Fresh Brizzle 8th. Marek Mariola 9th. And Andy brings up the top 10 in his McLaren. Well done to you guys. Lely finished 11th. I'm sure he won't be happy with that one this evening. GT Jamie managed to jump on his controller and pick up some valuable points in 12th. Traction was 13th. No idea. He was up to like third after 3 laps, I believe it was, and so must have had an issue somewhere. Fresh Jinx 14th, and Crazies did not finish. And there we go. Wow, that was breathtaking. The most amazing first qualifying session I've ever seen in terms of lap times. A great race. Race 2, you need to watch it, when we had those 4 that were all 2x2 almost for the entire lap. I mean, the standard is unreal. So I have to say 2 big thank yous, or 2 big congratulations. One to Will Friedman for those 2 strategies to have 2 second place finishes. Well done you, considering you jumped in as a reserve tonight. But the main one, Traction Dave, congratulations, your maiden victory within FRL. Very well deserved, mate. So there we go, ladies and gents. The Formula Racing League GT3 Sunday round 3 at Laguna Seca is done. 2 great races, and obviously we move on. Where are we at next week? Where are we at next week? Let me just tell you that. 1 second. Monza. That'll be interesting. So join me next Sunday for the next round of this one at Monza. I will be back on Tuesday evening for Taco Tuesdays. Fingers crossed the update works and we can get more, better coverage on the PS5. But until then, buymeacoffee.com/comms by Coops. Check it out. Leave a like on the video. Sub if you want to see the rest of the series. And until then, I'll see you all on Tuesday. Alright guys, comms by Coops, out.